I'm sick of watching Caitlyn getting attacked. If the league doesn't step up and protect her, things are going to get ugly real fast.
Griner just called Caitlin Clark a trash effing white girl. Caitlin Clark has been picked on and abused ever since she entered the league in 2024, and now Brittney Griner is joining.
Greetings and welcome back, my dear and beautiful viewers. I'm back today with a brand new, incredible, and fascinating video that you won't want to miss. So be sure to stick with me all the way through. Let's get straight into today's video without wasting any more time. What would happen if one of the greatest basketball players ever saw the WNBA's most talented young athlete being singled out through questionable methods? The basketball world has been utterly appalled by Steph Curry's startling comments about Brittney Guerrier's behavior against Caitlin Clark. You will thus discover. But first, let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a professional athlete subjected to the kind of discrimination that Caitlin Clark has experienced during her career? What he witnessed during the Connecticut Sun game has dramatically altered Steph Curry's view of the WNBA. This aspect of Steph Curry's perspective devastates Brittney Griner. Right now, Steph Curry is exactly where Caitlin Clark is. Steph Curry was the best player in a league full of incredible athletes at the time, and because they couldn't match his extraordinary basketball IQ, they tried to physically intimidate him. However, Steph Curry brought attention to this crucial matter. Brittney Griner's reputation starts to get extremely interesting at this point. Steph Curry understands the difference between what he is seeing with Caitlin Clark and what he has seen in championship-level competitive basketball and the mob atmosphere. "It's the most cowardly act I've seen on a basketball court in decades," he said. You heard properly, yes. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel if you enjoy the content. It may surprise you to learn that almost 83% of viewers have not yet subscribed. Even though it only takes a second and is free, it means the world to us. Have you already subscribed? Fantastic. I sincerely appreciate your help. Let's return to the video now.
I've said many times that Caitlin Clark got roughed up repeatedly by defenders throughout her rookie year last year. It was attempted bullying, trying to break her spirit, intimidate her, put her in her place, get even with her for all the attention she was getting. But this season, it appears Caitlin is more committed.
After witnessing the footage of Brittney Griner attacking Caitlin Clark from behind as she was trying to deal with getting poked in the eye, Steph Curry reacted violently and quickly. The only person in basketball history who genuinely understood what pure competitive fire looked like was this man, who battled well-known enforcers like Dennis Rodman and Bill Lemire. But even he could see that Brittney Guerrier's behavior violated the rules of sportsmanship and competitive integrity. Here are Steph Curry's thoughts on the timing of that shove, though. Brittney Griner is currently quite dissatisfied with his analysis. The basketball player raised an issue that many fans had been thinking about, but nobody with his level of notoriety had the guts to do so. Taking cheap swings at someone while they are completely exposed and not looking is not the same as playing championship-level defense. Steph Curry emphasized that his era was thought to be the most physically taxing in NBA history. When you disagreed with someone, you didn't wait for their back to turn before acting like a predator. Instead, you faced them like a warrior. And that's exactly what Steph Curry found most repugnant about Brittney Guerrier's abhorrent actions. But for the time being, Brittney Guerrier's reputation has been utterly destroyed by Steph Curry's remarks. Brittney Guerrier's pathetic post-event reaction infuriated the senior Boston Celtics player. Brittney Griner feigned that the media and fans were unfairly criticizing her rather than offering an apology or acknowledging that she might have gone too far. "Damned if I do, damned if I don't," she said. But after hearing such comments, Steph Curry became even more furious. Steph Curry claims that the game's victors and legends, truly great competitors, always take full responsibility for their acts, especially when those actions put another player in grave risk. He said he was reminded of athletes who knew deep down they couldn't compete at the highest level when he saw Brittney Griner play the victim and avoid criticism. As a result, they found more questionable ways to affect the game. In other words, because Brittney Griner lacks the actual basketball skills to match higher potential, Steph Curry effectively characterized her as a subpar player who used moral means. This is where Steph Curry's research truly shines and reveals a fascinating aspect of Caitlin Clark. Steph Curry believes that Caitlin Clark possesses the same special qualities that made him one of the best basketball players in history. These qualities include her exceptional basketball IQ, her unexplained ability to score critical shots, and, above all, her angelic ability to uplift everyone around her. But as a person who respects basketball ethics, he also observes something that really concerns him. This incredibly talented young athlete must constantly be on the lookout for cheap shots and dirty tricks rather than focusing only on reaching her boundless basketball potential. Steph Curry claims that Brittney Grier's approach sums up everything wrong with certain players' choice to play Caitlin Clark instead of pushing themselves to match her exceptional talent level or outwork her on the court through dedication and preparation. It is concerning that she is physically assaulted when she is at her weakest. According to Steph Curry, this is the worst basketball tournament he has ever seen. However, Steph Curry's audacious comments became the topic of the basketball world. Steph Curry compared the circumstances surrounding Caitlin Clark to his own experiences with physical assault at work. But he wasn't afraid to call attention to something that uplifts Caitlin Clark and puts her situation in the right context. He underlined that Caitlin Clark, who is only 22 years old, is going through far more adversity than most athletes go via in their lives. She is also carrying the weight of being the unchallenged face of women's basketball.
While this is taking place, Brittney Griner comes out and says, I am so sick and tired of the WNBA. It used to be a peaceful, small little thing. Now there's crowds screaming, hollering. This is disruptive. It's not allowing us to play the game. This is her quote. I don't know if you saw this or not when she gave that.
However, Steph Curry's comments about Brittney Grier's NBA prospects, which are currently making the rounds on social media, are incredible. Steph Curry claims that if the WNBA allows players like Brittney Griner to seek superstars without facing repercussions, it suggests that mediocre players can use unethical tactics to stay relevant rather than developing their true basketball skills. He claims that this creates a dangerous precedent that can deter players who are raising the bar for the league. Steph Curry even went so far as to claim that the league's failure to adequately punish these actions deceives young players who watch from home. He believes that instead of teaching kids how to pick bad opponents, watching the WNBA should teach them about skill, commitment, and sportsmanship. The most significant part of Steph Curry's entire statement, though, might have been his prediction for Caitlin Clark's future despite these challenges. He asserted that Caitlin Clark was molded by adversity and that every cheap shot, dirty play, and attempt to intimidate her only made her more determined to prove her superiority through skill alone. Steph Curry compared Caitlin Clark's situation to his own rookie campaign, when opponents constantly tested his physical endurance. He noted that in addition to the unprecedented media attention and demands that come with being the most marketable player in WNBA history, Caitlin Clark is dealing with this behavior. Thus, Caitlin Clark's support from Steph Curry is crucial. He is protecting more than just a talented athlete. He is defending the intrinsic purity of basketball. Caitlin Elizabeth Clark, in his opinion, exemplifies every quality that makes basketball unique, including talent, vision, class, and competitiveness. He also sees in competitors like Brittney Griner everything that could be detrimental to the sport. The basketball veteran made it clear that the WNBA is at a critical juncture. There are two choices for them. They either protect and showcase their top players, allowing stars like Caitlin Clark to reach their full potential and enhance the league overall, or they continue to allow weaker players to use dishonest tactics to stay relevant. Steph Curry made his point very evident. The league's future will depend on the choice selected. But this is the question that everyone is discussing. Will the WNBA take Steph Curry's warnings about protecting Caitlin Clark seriously? Or will they continue to allow athletes like Brittney Griner to employ questionable methods to harm the league's image? Let's continue the conversation in the space provided for comments below. How do you feel with Steph Curry's harsh criticism of Brittney Griner's behavior? Do you think he's being too critical, or do you think his objections are totally legitimate? More importantly, do you believe the WNBA will eventually move to protect its biggest star? Kindly provide your thoughts in the space provided for comments below. I read every single one of them. If you want to see more analysis like this that breaks through the clutter and explains what's truly happening in basketball, be sure to click the subscribe button and enable the notification bell. Steph Curry's contentious comments may potentially alter Caitlin Clark's status in the WNBA. The basketball community is monitoring this issue.
Respectfully, Brittney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about.
My first inclination is to say that this person is not a female.
One thing gets harder to overlook as this story progresses. Discussions are no longer restricted to a single game, a single harsh foul, or a single contentious incident. It has to do with women's basketball's future, the standards the league hopes to maintain, and how its top players are handled when they are in the public eye. Before joining the WNBA, Caitlin Clark had to deal with expectations that few athletes have ever had to deal with. Millions of fans watch every game she plays. Every move she makes is examined from every perspective. Every achievement is commemorated, and every failure attracts media coverage. That's what it means to be among the most well-known figures in modern basketball today. And in the meantime, veterans from all throughout the league are still competing at the top level, bringing pride, perseverance, and years of experience to every game. The WNBA wants to make sure that intense competitiveness never turns into needless or risky play. Fans demand intensity. They seek rivalries. They want respect, fairness, and stability in addition to real basketball. Because Steph Curry is someone who knows what it's like to execute under pressure, his remarks have generated intense discussion. Steph Curry faced some of the toughest opponents and fiercest defenders basketball has ever seen during his incredible career. However, his message went beyond just being tough. It was about upholding the game's integrity and ensuring that basketball skill, rather than controversy, remains the major focus. It is undeniable that Steph Curry's remarks have sparked debate, regardless of whether you totally agree with his viewpoint or think the circumstances have been overstated. What should happen when the league's top players become the center of physical play is still up for dispute among fans, pundits, retired players, and media figures. Do authorities need to be more stringent? Is this just a typical aspect of being a professional basketball player, or should the league impose heavier penalties? Everybody seems to respond in a different way. Caitlin Clark's response is unquestionable. She has persisted in concentrating on basketball rather than allowing controversy, physical defense, or criticism to define her career. She continues to compete, show up, and demonstrate why so many people think she is the sport's future. One of the main reasons her supporters still stand by her is her tenacity. Unprecedented attention is being paid to the WNBA. Social media conversations are expanding daily, arenas are packed, television ratings are climbing, and new fans are learning about women's basketball for the first time. These kinds of circumstances have an impact not only on a single player or team, but also on how the league is viewed globally. Every game will become increasingly important as the season progresses. Every game in which Caitlin Clark plays will be thoroughly monitored. Every contentious play will be examined. Every official decision will be challenged. Additionally, each game will contribute to the story of one of the most talked about seasons in WNBA history. You now have the most important question. Do you think Steph Curry's remarks accurately capture the current state of the league? Do you believe the WNBA is taking adequate precautions to safeguard its players while permitting competitive physical basketball? How will the league, Brittney Griner, and Caitlin Clark be affected going forward, in your opinion? Please use the comment section below to share your thoughts. I sincerely want to know the opinions of basketball enthusiasts worldwide. This group's polite discourse is excellent, and your viewpoint might be included in a future movie. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, enable notifications, and never miss another upload if you liked this conversation and want more in-depth basketball analysis, exclusive updates, and the biggest news about the WNBA, NBA legends, and Caitlin Clark. Every night, basketball history is being written. Thank you for watching and for your fantastic support. One thing is evident as we come to the end of today's discussion. Incidents like these continue to ignite intense debates within the basketball community. Basketball fans worldwide are closely observing how the league, its players, and its biggest personalities continue to influence the game's future, regardless of whether you agree with the sentiments expressed. The excitement of watching the WNBA stems from the fact that every game, headline, and discussion offers fans something fresh to discuss. It's your time now. How do you feel about all we discussed today? Do you think the league is headed in the right way, or do you think significant adjustments still need to be made? I try to read as many of your comments as I can, so please share your ideas in the space provided below. Your opinions will influence future films on this channel. Let's keep the discussion civil, considerate, and centered on the game that we all love. Please remember to use the like button and subscribe to the Clark Update if you like this video and would like more WNBA news, analysis, and updates. Your contributions enable us to keep providing you with player updates, game analyses, new basketball stories, and the league's top stories. We're expanding daily, and with your support, we'll keep creating one of YouTube's greatest basketball communities. To ensure that you never miss a new upload, be sure to activate the notification bell. We keep you up to date with the most recent WNBA news, popular stories, and significant advancements as they occur. I sincerely appreciate you watching and participating in this wonderful community. Every view, like, comment, and subscribe is greatly appreciated. I'll see you in the upcoming video with another thrilling WNBA update, so be careful and remain safe. Thank you for watching, and have a great day until then.